you've got cool Klopp's Liverpool. Yeah,
Mm.
it's a mysterious world. Yeah, Klopp's Liverpool is gonna be facing Slot's Liverpool. Yeah,
Mm.
who wins that game and why? And
Mm.
which Liverpool are you supporting?
Oh, okay. Can I ask a question back before I answer it?
Go for it, bro.
Which version of Klopp's team is it? Klopp's prime team or this version and this version of Slot's team, or is it Klopp's last? Like which bit of Klopp is it?
Let's go with the Klopp team that won the Premier League.
Oh, and then this Slot team. I'll be honest, I think I may have to go with the Klopp team. I prefer how Slot structures a game and how we set up and how we approach games, whether it be before games or in games. But that Klopp team that won the league was crazy. And I think the main difference in the two teams are the fact of those players were at absolutely the peak of their powers. Like I look at Salah. Salah's still the guy for me. But that version of Salah was crazy. I look at left wing. Diaz and Gakpo have both been good this season. But Sadio Mane was a whole nother level. Like, whole nother level. Nunez and Jota, they're both good. Bobby Firmino, a whole nother level.
Bobby.
Fabinho, even Gravenberch. Gravenberch has been so good this season. But Fabinho in the midfield was crazy. Even I know, and here's the thing, I know rival fans, when I mention this next person's name, will always laugh and be like, yeah, he's not that guy. I'll be the first to say, technically, pretty average. But as a leader, as someone who was tactically astute and could take a game by the scruff of the neck if needed, Jordan Henderson was massively important to that Liverpool team as well. And then Gini Wijnaldum for me is the unsung hero, where he did all the dirty work and popped up with clutch goals. And he only really got his flowers when he did what he did against Barcelona. But if you'd watched Gini from the moment we signed him to the moment he left, he was integral for Liverpool. So I love what Slot's doing. I love what the team's doing at the moment. But that Klopp team is probably the best team I've seen in my lifetime.
The reason why,
from a Liverpool standpoint, not overall.
I definitely hear that. The reason why I guess I drew that comparison is because you lot literally started that season flying out of the traps. Like, you guys literally punched up everybody. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, you're not quite punching up teams in the same way. But this is another very strong start. And I mean, barring the loss that no one expected to Nottingham Forest, which I guess at this point now you can kind of chalk off as a blip because it didn't really impact you. And the draw to Arsenal at the Emirates, which I guess now that you look back on it, you would probably say, okay, draw at the Emirates is pretty good. Pretty good.
We were lucky to get that draw, though. We were lucky to get that draw.
See, you say that, but if I say that, I'm a hater.
No, I say it straight. I'm quite similar to you. I have my shameless moments, but I get grilled a lot in the Liverpool fan base by saying I glaze other teams and all this. I just, as a football fan before I was a Liverpool fan, if I see something, I think it's right to be objective about it rather than just being tribalistic all the time. Like, I think we were lucky to get a point against Arsenal, and at the time even now I take the point. But at the time, going into the game, I think we should have attacked the game properly to try and get 3 points. But coming out of the game, we were very lucky to get a point.
Hey, you heard it first from the Liverpool fans. So now when I say this going forward, I can say I'm only saying what Cal said.
So fact.
People can't hate on me no more. You know them way there. So do you think that, because obviously I feel like Klopp and Slot play very similar football. The only kind of difference that I would say is Klopp is chaos all the time, whereas Slot is very measured. But the moments when he needs chaos to happen and you guys spot moments when you can ignite that chaos, you go full throttle. And Cal has he did warn me about this prior. He's saying he's having problems with his laptop. So in and out of this. He's back. He's back.
Apologies.
Yeah, that's the first time. No, it's cool. You let me know about it before. It's fine.
Yeah.
So basically when you need to ignite the chaos, you ignite it in such a frightening way. Like, I'll be so honest. Like, I was watching the game against Aston Villa, and literally in that second half, whenever they had a corner, I literally I was saying prayers for the Aston Villa team, because you guys switched it on crazily.
Yeah.
And it kind of like not woke me up a bit, but it made me realize that we was actually quite lucky in a sense that we didn't see that at the Emirates. But I firmly believe that that is what we're going to see at Anfield. So I guess taking that into consideration, do you think that Slot's Liverpool and Slot's style of play could take advantage of, I guess, how chaotic Klopp is all the time?
Absolutely. I think I think you've summed up perfectly. If I was to compare it to fighters, Klopp's Liverpool team was a fighter who was just gung ho, always on the front foot, looking to land big punches, big kicks. Whereas Slot's team, as you said, they pick and choose. So they might lull you into a little false sense of security, but the moment they sniff any sort of weakness, they're onto you. I think from a fan perspective, Klopp's football is more entertaining, but from a Liverpool perspective, well, in fact, I'll only speak for myself. It was very frustrating sometimes, because I'm looking at games sometimes, I'm thinking, let's just seal this up, man. I don't need a 4-3 game today. I just want a 2-0 easy win. And I think we're getting that more with Slot. And I think the benefit to Slot ball over Klopp ball is by March time, Liverpool really started to struggle from a physical standpoint, because he had put so much effort into the months leading up to it. Whereas with Slot ball, I feel as though, because of the more measured approach, when we get to the Aprils, the Mays, where it's the business end of the season, I think the players will be a little bit more fresh to be able to take us over the line. But Slot is doing great things. As I said as well, the way he manages things technically and tactically in games as well, and he's able to sort of adapt on the fly, I think that's what separates him from other managers at the moment. It's probably the reason why we went in for him as well.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, you've said which team you think is winning, but which Liverpool are you supporting? You're in the ground. Are you shouting and screaming and singing for Klopp, or are you shouting, screaming, and singing for Slot?
Yeah, it's Klopp, man. Again, I came under a lot of criticism last season, because I was calling out Klopp a lot for some of the stuff he was doing, and I think people saw that as, Cal wants Klopp out, or Cal hates Klopp. Bro, when I tell you, Klopp is my favorite manager of all time, past or present. Like, the love I've got for that guy, because he brought Liverpool back. I'd never seen my team win the Premier League in my lifetime. He made that happen. I'd seen Champions League, but I'd never seen a comeback like the Barcelona game, like the Borussia Dortmund game. And I'd never seen my team go crazy in the Premier League, where they've run away with it, where it was wrapped up in January pretty much. He did that. So I will forever be grateful for Klopp. And if Klopp wasn't stubborn and he was able to adapt his approach, I'd never have wanted Klopp to leave. But I also will say, I think he left at the right time, because I think sometimes you can stick around long enough to become the villain. And I think that could have happened this season if he didn't go. So it was a heavy heart when he left, but I think it was the right time.
I guess my take on, I guess, Klopp leaving is, well, it's a weird one. So I think the only real reason he had to leave is because of the fact that FSG doesn't really back Liverpool, or I guess better to say, back their managers in the way that they should. Because I feel like Klopp's ball is proven in the Prem. I would say it's probably proven in football at this point. The only issue that I see with it is it's a brand of football that every 2 to 3 years, you need to be getting rid of key players and bringing in new key players. Otherwise, you do get the burnout. Otherwise,
this is why you're the guy, Hooks, bro. This is why you're the guy, bro.
No, people think that I just do the banter and you get me the slewing and all that. But when I want to, be a bit more calm and actually get rid of the kind of the trolley side of me, I can actually appreciate a lot of things.
Nah, you know your stuff, man.
So I would say that's kind of the for me at least, like, the biggest issue. And I think that's kind of, maybe he realized that he was going to go into the next season without the correct support, and he's probably looking at his players and going, there's too many areas of weakness right now, and you know what, maybe it's just best that, you know, I step aside, have a bit of a rest, go on to pastures new, and I guess let someone else take the reign at Liverpool, and I guess take them forward, because maybe he felt that, you know what, with these set of players, I don't think I can do much more than what I've done already. And but then, even though I did kind of slew FSG, I kind of have to give them props, because it's very rare that you see, I guess, a kind of like a ownership go, okay, this worked really well. Let's try and find someone as close to this person as possible, so we don't have to go through a rebuild. We don't have to go through like starting a new process. Like Arsenal. Arsenal went from Wenger to Emery, who I would say like they're vastly apart, like in terms of like their philosophies on football and the way that they play and the brand of player that they like. And I guess you could kind of argue with Arteta coming in, it's well, at first I thought it was going back to like similar to the Wenger way.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to think, okay, he's kind of looking a bit more like a Jose Mourinho. So do you know what I mean? So I have to give FSG them props.